Hey everyone, just want to answer some more customer questions for you today. Let's go ahead and get started. So, do the messages ever get marked as spam, and how do we avoid it? They can, because carriers don't like spam. So if you have content in your messages that seems spammy, like if it sounds like it's take this survey and earn a Walmart card, where it might be phishing, then you could potentially it could potentially be marked as spam. What we basically say is, if you avoid dollar signs, you avoid any of the words like free or that look spammy, which frankly isn't most of our studies. It's not most of the content that's in those messages. Then you can usually avoid it. The other thing is just high volume of the same message going out at once. Again, that's not usually the case, especially because with storylines and how our software works, people are getting different messages on different days. It's not something that we typically have to worry about. We typically even encounter, but clients ask, so we want to be able to let people know. Do we get our own texting number for the study? Yes, absolutely. In fact, you get your own texting number specific with an area code that's local to that particular site. So if you're running a study that's out of a single site and it's in San Francisco, then it might be 415, or if 415 numbers aren't available, 510, 650, things like that. If you're running multiple sites for your study, then we'll find an area code local to whatever city that is in. We also encourage you to tell your participants your texts are going to be coming from this particular number. Save it in your phone and your contacts as us, so that you know that it's coming in. But either way, it's from a local area code, and it's a dedicated texting number for you. Can we use this for our healthcare practice? We get asked that a lot, because the functions and the modules that we have are useful for patient engagement across the board. We focus specifically in clinical research, but if you do email us and want to know, we can send you to a partner who is very, very good at what they do and can be more specifically solution focused to your healthcare practice. Can we use emojis in the messages? Yeah, absolutely. You can use emojis in the messages. In fact, we're seeing more and more studies that are using this. Text messaging is a personal channel. It's on one of the most personal devices that we have, our mobile phones, and we're all communicating with emojis. Most of us are communicating with emojis all the time as a way to express ourselves. To add that little element of personalization, you can absolutely add emojis. It adds a human element to the messages that you're sending. So that's possible. If you have any questions about how we go about that, or things that may be specific to your study, then obviously let us know. But you do have that capability on the Mosio platform. Can you explain how storylines work? Okay, so storylines are what I call our internal killer app. They allow you to pre-schedule a series of surveys or messages to go out, with every participant starting on their own day zero. The benefit there, and the reason that our clients love it, is that you don't have to start everybody in at once, or even in groups. You can screen and enroll one person on a Monday, two people on Tuesday, so on and so forth. And say, for example, you wanted to send out a weekly survey. You would tell the storyline on day 7, on day 14, on day 21. Send out this survey. It's used for text-based intervention. It's used for medication adherence or dosing reminders, for sending out surveys, for a lot of things in terms of for automated coordinator check-ins, for a lot of things in terms of the automated sending of those messages for those individuals. We even have a sub-function of storylines called personal storylines, which is if you want to get even more specific with the timing and the content for individual participants or patients, then you can use personal storylines for that. As I mentioned, it's used in a lot of different ways. There are additional functions within storylines, so you can have someone going down a certain storyline, and then if certain behaviors happen, then you can change it up and send them down another storyline, or send them, add them to another series of messages or surveys that are going out. So it's a really, really cool feature that's unique to our platform, and it gets used a lot. If you have any ideas about how there's something in your study where you think it might be useful, then let us know. And if you need ideas, then you can let us know as well, and we'll tell you ways that, that other clients or other configurations that we've had that have been useful. Can you show us what the experience looks like for staff and coordinators to enroll patients in the system? So yeah, what we'll do is we will put up some screenshots, and we'll do a little sub video that shows you exactly what it is. Basically, what we end up doing is 99% of our clients tell us what it is that they want the system to do, and then our development team will configure it for that use. Now, once it's configured, you can go into the system and change it yourself. You don't need to ask us for changes, and frankly, you can go in and set up the system yourself if you want. It's just that most of our clients ask us to set it up for them. With that in mind, once it's set up, our primary objective is making it as easy for clinical research coordinators, study coordinators, anyone on the study staff to enroll a participant into the system. So they get to a window, and effectively all they need to do is they enter the participant or patient ID, their mobile number, their start date, and then they press go or start. I can't remember what the button says, but it's something along those lines. Now the other function that's there, if you want it configured in your system, is you would be able to enter the coordinator name. Where that can be useful is if you're using automated coordinator check-ins and you want to inject the coordinator's name into the message. So hello, this is Noel, your study team member, your study coordinator. Just wanted to let you know how grateful we are to have you in this study. You would have that field to enter the coordinator name when you enroll the participant. But it's very, very easy, you know, those short fields. And again, our development team setting up the system for you in advance just makes it as easy as possible for study staff to enroll participants in the system. So that's it for me right now. If you have any questions, you can contact us through support, or you can email us. We'll add them to this list of client questions that we have coming in. I hope this has been helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on the site. Bye.